All right, so today I wanted to come to you, my trusted audience, and ask you the $7 million question. Do you know what that question is? I'll get to it here in a minute. But there are some conflicting opinions about what's going on in the American economy. Usually it's pretty clear when things are going awry. For example, when a correction takes place or a recession is on the horizon, we can usually tell pretty quickly whether we're in a recession or whether we are not in a recession. But now, today, it seems to be a little bit harder. It's really not clear as to what exactly a recession is, because according to the definition of a recession, it says that a recession is 2 consecutive quarters of contracting GDP. So if GDP, the gross domestic product, is decreasing for 2 consecutive quarters, it's negative, then we are in a recession. But according to President Joe Biden, Secretary Janet Yellen, and Chairman Jerome Powell of the Federal Reserve, America is not in a recession right now. Even though we have those 2 negative contracting quarters of GDP, right? So how can we have that going on and not be in a recession? Well, those folks that I just mentioned, President, Secretary Yellen, and Chairman Powell, all say that we're not in a recession because there are other indicators other than just contracting GDP. There are other indicators that say the economy is not in a recession. They point to the strong jobs market, right? And they say that because there is not a lot of layoffs going on across the board. I think I heard someone say that there are about 3.6% unemployment right now. So those types of numbers don't point to a recession. Strong job market, and unemployment at a low rate. Now, I heard another guy say yesterday that although the unemployment rate is at 3.6%, and that's pretty good, there are 11 million jobs in the United States that are not filled right now. Meaning there are still 1,100 jobs out there, 11 million jobs in the U.S. that need workers, right? So although you have a low unemployment rate, you do have a high rate of employers needing employees. So they point to the strong job market and they say we're not in a recession because of that. Now, if we take a look at what's going on in the stock market, we know that for the first half of this year, it has been the worst first half in the last 50 years, right? So things are not necessarily going great, it seems, in the stock market, definitely not, and the economy. So what actually, is there another definition that I'm missing somewhere that gives us exactly what a recession is? Now, here's what I think. If there is a recession, if we are in a recession, or if we're not, if we're teetering on recession, I think it's important that we have a plan together. And I think a lot of times what people do is they wait until they lose their jobs, and then they say, oh, okay, now I'm going to go and start this business that I've always wanted to start. And now you can do that because you have so much time on your hand. But here's the problem with that. When you lose your job and you don't have any income coming in, then guess what happens? You start to panic. You start to get very concerned and worried about how you're going to be able to make ends meet. So starting a business during that time probably is not going to be the best environment for you to start your business in. So I don't suggest that you wait until you don't have a job, until mass layoffs start, right? We've already seen some layoffs. I think I saw yesterday that Robinhood cut about 23% of its workforce. Coinbase cut so much of its workforce. And a lot of others are doing the same. Tesla, I think, cut some of its workforce. So are these just, some corrections they're making right now? Just downsizing the force to come into where they should be? Or are they cutting these employees because they know what's coming, or they think they have an idea of what's coming? A recession, perhaps. Which is why I ask you that $7 million question. Are we in a recession? Do you think that we're in a recession? Does it feel like we're in a recession to you? If you would, please weigh in on that question. Let us know what you think in the comment section, and I certainly would appreciate you for doing so. So that's what I wanted to share with you today. I wanted to actually come and ask you the question, are we in a recession? Because I haven't figured it out just yet. I don't know who to believe. Should we believe the economists? Because some of them say we are in a recession. Some say we're not in a recession. Some say we're teetering on a recession. Hadn't got there quite yet. But I want to know what my trusted audience thinks, because I trust your opinion. So make sure you drop that in the comment section and let us know what you think. So that's what I wanted to share with you today. Don't wait until you lose your job to start your business. I'm going to leave a free link in the description. It's my 5-video series, and it's titled How the Load Movement Process Works. Gives you a look at exactly how the freight broker business works. Shows me in my office moving loads, talking to shippers, talking to carriers. That way you can get an understanding of how this thing works before you come into it. And then if you want to know how much your cost will be, how much will it cost you to start your own freight broker business? I'll leave a free video right here detailing exactly what those costs are. So until the next time, I wish you the very best in your life and business. And as always, I'll see you at the very top of the mountain, because the bottom is much too crowded.